milk line, that's it. It is a beautiful thing. Look at that.
Why isn't that beautiful?
Talk.
Welcome to International Women's Day, the International Women's Day celebration of Culinary Delights, where two Midwestern moms and a California surfer girl talk about great recipes they found on the internet. I am Amanda Bonanza. Below me is Lilith Electra, and below her is Emily Kaelin. Hello, ladies.
Hi, friends.
Are you ready for a delicious recipe? A great recipe, because I have one today from the days it's a Great Depression era recipe is where we're going. So we're going this is comfort food, I think is what they say. Is that what they call it?
Depends how much sawdust is in it.
Well, sawdust exactly, but it's a vintage. It is definitely a vintage recipe. We're approaching 100 years on this recipe, so it's here we go. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. We're looking at milk toast here. We're gonna make some milk toast.
Oh my God, cool! I don't know really what that is, so that's awesome. I know a lot.
Is this any relation to milk steak?
Milk steak. I don't know if that's the thing, but Charlie Day sure loves it, and I'm also a fan. And I would like an egg in these trying times. Thank you very much. No, I didn't know milk toast was an actual thing, because like the term milk toast, we all anyway, I'm gonna go down that road too much. I'm just gonna jump right in here. We got what is milk toast, and why is it still so beloved? and so
is it beloved?
Beloved to me.
Wow. Is beloved even more intense than beloved? Is that like even more emotion involved if it's beloved versus beloved?
I always just thought it was pronounced beloved. That's
beloved. Beloved is for an object. Beloved is to describe a person.
I love that as the definition.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like Immortal Beloved, is I think a vampire movie about somebody loves. Immortal Beloved would be about a vampire who likes milk toast or whatever.
Sounds like milk toast. I had no idea that milk toast was still so beloved. I had no idea. Like I didn't even know it was really a thing. But this was one of those things where as soon as I learned about it, I started seeing it everywhere. And now every time I go to a restaurant, I'm like, oh, they've got milk toast, because it's so beloved. And all the hipsters are ordering milk toast. You've probably heard of a milk toast person. What?
Nothing. No, the way this is written, this is like Corey Williams. What happened is he served milk toast at a party and everyone ragged on him. And then he started a blog where he was like, what's really everyone loves? Look at this article, milk toast. And you all made fun of me.
Well, see, that's definitely a pseudonym then, because this is probably really Dan Clive, who was at the party, and he was telling everybody about milk toast. They're like, what are you talking about? Who eats milk toast? He was like,
nah, you're giving him too much credit. His real name is probably William Corey. It's William Corey. It's like, this is written by Corey Williams. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Totally different guy. Totally different guy.
Hi, I'm Truck Burner, not a rapist.
I just like, the fact that milk toast is so beloved. Like we all know, how popular it is at McDonald's every year when they bring back their milk toast.
Yeah.
Wait, you're telling me every Christmas morning you don't race down to the tree to open up your presents and have a big old bowl of milk toast?
It's been a couple of years.
I do now.
If this is just toast in milk, I really got to question why you're toasting it if you're just going to pour milk on it. It seems like you're adding steps here that are unnecessary.
I could counter that. I'm not going to, but I can see that one both ways. Let's dive into this recipe and see what's actually going on here, because we can't dive into
the recipe just yet. We need to build it up.
We're in the build-up stage.
Yeah, so
Based
so
off
you
of-
have heard of so you've probably heard of a milk toast person. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But have you heard of milk toast, the simple comfort food that has stood the test of time? And hasn't it though? It keeps on
It
keeps
has
on
it.
trucking, just like yeah. Here's what you need to know about the old-fashioned dish that'll warm you up from the inside out. What is milk toast? That's a good question. Milk toast consists of cubed toasted bread served in warm milk. The milk is usually flavored with vanilla and spices such as cinnamon. In some versions, a milk sauce is poured over a whole piece of toast. So, a
Milk
nice milk sauce.
A nice milk reduction.
Oh yes, you gotta eat it with your pinky up. So I love the fact that Lilith had challenged the fact that you toast the bread before you put it into milk. How do you feel now about the fact that once you toast it, you then have to cube it?
Exactly.
I assumed you would cube it first and then put it on a skewer and toast it over an open flame. Yeah, you get a spit rotating, so you get even toasting around all your cubes of bread. Yeah.
The even toasting is
Well, no, you
crucial
have to
to a good milk toast.
You have to cube it first, because if you don't cube it, you've got so much surface area that's untoasted.
I agree. You need to cube the bread first. Well, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out in the recipe because they've got the recipe. Why guess? Why would we guess?
Why would we guess when it's
First,
just
we
right
can't
here?
go in yet because we have milk toast
Oh.
history.
There's still some more history. Now
Because
we've learned
it's
that
so
milk toast
beloved and it
exists.
stood the test of
was
time.
like-
I mean, it's like a staple. It's like the Q-tip. It's like Kleenex. It's like
Mhm.
it's such a part of our daily lives that you forget about the history. It's like, oh, really? There was a time there was a time before milk toast. I know it's hard to imagine as
I
beloved
can't.
and
What-
popular as this dish is.
Well, yeah, what would life be like without milk toast? Like,
There was
Hello,
Milk
Mom.
toast.
What's for breakfast? Oatmeal. What? That was life without milk toast.
Milk toast was a popular dish in the 19th and 20th centuries, particularly for small children and adults suffering from illness or gastrointestinal problems.
sounds delightful already.
It's already out of it. No wonder.
Wait, you're telling me people had
It's
stomach
still
issues
beloved
when they were
to
eating
this day.
warm bread with warm milk on it?
They had the stomach issues first, and then they added a bowl full of warm milk.
Going back to how beloved this dish is, can we just highlight the fact that this dish was popular for 200 years in the
200
19th and
years.
20th centuries?
No, I think this is probably like the 2 years right around the century. Like got popular in 1899, and then in 1901 they were done with it.
It just disappeared from all the menus and restaurants.
We're done with this.
It has been a source of reassurance and moral and physical strength.
Oh, this is some
Under
Christian
the
nationalist
morality
shit.
of milk toast.
Ugh.
It's starting to make sense now. It's beloved among a certain group of a certain
A
category
certain
of people,
group of
and we know who they are.
bunch of monastic weirdos.
Soft. I forgot what was in the parentheses. The soft, bland bread was considered easy to digest.
I mean, I can't argue with facts. I cannot argue with facts.
Digest that soft, bland bread and warm milk.
Yeah.
This is
Oh, yeah.
this is the
The
way
warm
this-
milk, not so good for the gastrointestinal problems, but the soft, bland bread, that's where it's at.
See, the thing is when you're writing a recipe, this is for the future people out there that we will be featuring on Culinary Delights here. When you're talking about your recipe and you go into the history of it beforehand, which is very important for a recipe, of course, make sure to use very colorful words like bland to describe the recipe that you're getting people excited about. This is
This
great.
is best eaten in solitude. Oh, you sold me at sitting alone, sadly eating.
I'm sure, like, this whole sentence, this whole paragraph needs to be read from the beginning.
Let's start again. Let's
Quote,
start again.
has been a source of reassurance and moral and physical strength for hundreds of years. I am sure. I'm guessing. I mean, I'm sure it's been a source of moral and physical strength for 100 years. I'm sure of it. And like many such friends, it perhaps does its best work when eaten in solitude. So it's like celebrated food writer MFK Fisher said about Milktoast in 1989's Alphabet for Gourmets. So
MFK Fisher sounds like J.K. Rowling trying to break into food writing.
let's assume it's MFK Fisher Jr. and they also had a brainworm. It seems to soothe the nerves and muscles and mind altogether. I'll be perfectly honest. That doesn't sound like the lingo of the streets that was bopping when like Too Legit to Quit came out.
This soothes the nerves and minds and muscles. Oh, my mind is so soothed.
In 1989, when hip hop was thriving.
Of course, it soothes the nerves and the muscles and mind together. Like it's a source of moral and physical strength.
Moral. I'm perfectly, to be perfectly honest, I'm having like, what's an immoral food? Like what food?
Nachos, clearly.
Ortolan. Ortolan is an immoral food.
No, what is that?
That's they take a small bird, an ortolan, and they drown it in cognac, and then you eat it full, bones and all.
I've heard of that. Like,
And you
lobster
wear
seems pretty immoral too. Yeah,
you wear a towel over your head so God can't watch.
That's right. You eat it in shame. I remember that one.
You eat it not in shame, but in solitude, much like Milktoast.
This is morally. You do this morally.
Yeah, this is the moral version of ortolan.
Yeah,
like
eating.
When you're in solitude with Milktoast, it's because you're closer to God.
I mean, honestly, yeah, you replace the bird with bread, you replace the cognac with milk, and yeah, it's like the Ned Flanders version of ortolan.
The World War II era comic strip character Casper Milktoast's name,
world famous
Casper Milktoast, that classic, that scamp.
Wait, is that the boy who died and became Casper the Friendly Ghost?
That could be.
I mean, it kind of rhymes. Concerned. Casper the Ghost, Casper Milktoast.
That's like, I'm sure. Yeah, that's as far as I know, that's canon.
Or it could also just be Richie Rich. I think Richie Rich bears a very strong resemblance to Casper the Ghost, but
the character Casper Milktoast's name
yeah
comes from the mild, unoffending dish, which you sold me at moral strength and eating in solitude. But now that it's mild and unoffending, where can I get my hands on this? I can't wait for this recipe.
It's been described as bland, mild, and unoffending. Like, we're in for a ride here, folks.
Oh, wow. It's a real Nancy Pelosi of a dish.
Well, speaking of, these days, Milktoast is used to describe a timid, meek, or unassertive person. So, like, yeah.
So, I love language and I love word origins. I love finding where words come from, when they're interesting. This one is infuriating me because Milktoast is spelled Milque toast, and it's just like, but there's the food Milktoast. Like, it seems weird that it, so it must have this great origin of why it's spelled weird and why it sounds the same as our Milktoast. But the fact that it just comes from Milktoast and someone was just being clever about it and spelled it for a character name, that honestly infuriates me.
Was that classic comic strip move of being really clever? It's like, these are the same people that like wrote the Flintstones and shit.
I mean, you got your Hagar the Horrible. You
got the Wizard of Id.
The Vid. Oh my God, why did we both go to the Wizard of Id? Yeah, like classic Jim Davis of Garfield fame.
What's Milktoast made of? I mean,
I assume milk and toast, but I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Clearly. It's a mystery. No?
Yes, mystery to all of us. And
Let's find
spoiler
out.
alert, by the way.
Toast is made with, you guessed it, milk and toast.
Wow.
Hmm.
Who would have guessed?
That's simply worthy of its own segment.
The
I can't
twists
wait
and
for the
turns in this
documentary.
recipe. Wow.
Wow.
I think this article. Okay, so wait a minute. We're going back here because this was written by Corey
Well-
Williams, which is clearly a pseudonym for M. Night Shyamalan, with such a great twist there. Milktoast is often a meal born from necessity, so any loaf you have on hand is fine.
Hmm.
Any
Okay.
loaf will do. It's like your morning call. If it's slightly stale, that's even better. So we're on
It's
the
just gonna
right
be-
track.
It's just going to be
Stale
soaked with
toast.
milk, so it's not going to be stale anymore. I mean,
Well, that was
Corey
the
Williams just
original-
spitting facts right here.
That was the original tagline for milk. They landed on Got Milk, but before that it was called the Fresh Maker, and then they got sued by Mentos.
Ah.
However, the ideal bread is thick sliced and sturdy enough to stay intact when soaked in milk. Breads that work well for French toast, such as challah and brioche, will also work well here. You know, you think of those classic like meals born from necessity, like oh, we're out of food and we can't afford to go shopping. We'll just have to scrape up the challah and the artisanal brioche that we've got laying around.
Ah,
How do you make milk toast? Well, once again, our
neither
five
none of
star
us here on this show could possibly guess. So
I know,
please
it's
tell us
like-
how to do this.
the buildup.
Do I
is
have to
just
preheat my
amazing.
microwave for this?
Our 5-star milk toast recipe is easy to follow, even for beginners. So if you're just starting, you've never made any food before, but you're like, I want to learn how to cook. Milk toast is a great place to start because not only is it a beloved classic, it's also moral and builds character, and it's easy to follow. So all recipes community members say it is smooth and delicious and a sweet comfort on winter evenings. That sounds like something community members would say and not an ad person. Check out the recipe for step-by-step instructions. Well, we will. In the meantime, here's what you can expect.
So we're not even
Wait,
getting to the
what?
recipe yet. This is just like a
This isn't the
precursor.
recipe?
Just no, just to get you ready, like to prepare you. It's a lot that's coming at you soon. So we just want to get you a little prepared, a little warmed up to it. You know, we won't want to shock you too much. So let's ease into this.
Before you
This
check
is-
out the recipe, here's what to expect from the recipe.
This is the trailer for the recipe. This is
Oh, yeah.
for your consideration.
This
Okay.
is the
And
red
the-
band trailer of Milktoast.
And the 45-minute history lesson pre the recipe didn't encapsulate or cover that. Okay, cool. Let's go.
Number 1, combine milk, sugar, and vanilla extract over medium heat and bring to a boil. So, you're supposed to boil your milk, which is not something I would usually think to do. But like, hey, I guess that's good in this case. That's how you make your milk sauce.
It's okay to boil your milk. If you're watching us and you think you're gonna make this at home, please do not leave your boiling milk unattended. You will fuck shit up. You will end up with a burned, disgusting mess in a ruined pan. So yes, medium heat, slow, bring it to a boil.
Remove from heat and divide the milk between 3 bowls.
What the fuck?
It's for
Right.
3. But okay,
How
so it's
much
for 3
milk
people.
do we have like
we can't know yet. We're not
This
to
is
the
only
recipe
trailer.
yet.
This
This
recipe.
this is just
This
the
is
preparation.
preview.
We're getting mentally prepared for what is to come. So just don't overthink it.
This is what's coming. This is like we'll
Okay.
get to how much milk to use when we get to the recipe. This is not the recipe.
No.
okay.
Number 3, tear the toast into bite-sized pieces and distribute between the bowls. Number 4, sprinkle the
Tear.
toast with cinnamon before serving.
Sure.
I don't know about y'all, but I feel like we've just been given the recipe.
I think we
feel
have
like we
just been
have.
given the recipe because I'm
Yeah.
looking at what I've got left as far as slides go, and there isn't
4 gallons
anything.
of milk, 2 pounds of
This is
sugar.
the recipe. It doesn't say how much milk, how much sugar, how much
eyeball
vanilla,
that shit.
but it's
Eyeball that
3
shit. We're all
bowls
professionals
full
here.
that you boiled.
I'm sorry. We are talking about one of the preeminent recipes of our time and one of the most popular comfort foods in the history of America. You need me to tell you how much milk to boil to
I
make
know.
3 servings of milk
That's
toast?
ridiculous.
I have a massive question here already, and we're not to the recipe. I know I'm jumping the gun a
No,
little bit here,
this is the recipe.
but I thought this. Anyways, this dish is designed is best for situations where you're eating in solitude. Like that's when it does
Why are
its
you
best
making
work.
3 bowls?
When you're eating in solitude. Why why does the recipe require that you make 3 bowls worth?
That's a good one.
Because of the Trinity. Because of the Trinity,
Oh,
you make
jeez.
3 bowls, and then you take your bowls into your own separate prayer closet.
So,
where you enjoy your moral meal in front of God.
I'm also gonna say this milk toast is sounds vaguely like uncooked French toast. You're just basically putting bread in a milk, sugar, vanilla, and then frying it. That's French toast. You would add an egg maybe, but this is essentially uncooked French toast.
This is America's
Yeah.
best attempt at a French toast.
This is America toast. After 9/11, it's all we ate.
America toast.
Classic. I'm wondering if you have any reviews for this milk toast.
Well, it was hard to find someone. I mean, we joke here about it was really hard, but I did happen to find I just reached out to my network of improvisers and coaches and people who like to travel, and I did find a goblin who enjoys milk toasts. Irk of Blurred.
What? I'm sorry, what? Okay.
Irk of Blurred, who looks suspiciously like Rainn Wilson with a mustache for his nose. Oh,
Irk.
hold on.
Irk is
Irk
the
of
best
Blurred.
name I've ever heard in my life.
I wasn't prepared for this. I was like, I'm just gonna get into character to read this, and I am. Milk toast is the greatest food in all the lands. Soft, warm, and perfectly soggy, just as food should be. The bread melts into the milk like a defeated foe. No chewing required, just glorious slurping and glurping. Every bite is a cozy hug from my goblin insides, far superior to those awful crunchy dry foods that other creatures eat. I've tasted nothing else, and I need nothing else. Milk toast is me life, my love, and my true feast. If you have not drowned your bread in milk and devoured it with glee, you have not truly lived. 5 stars.
So
I'm just so confused. So we got a precursor to the recipe. The recipe was a link. Like, is there a recipe?
I think
Again,
that was the recipe.
As I said, if you need exact measurements to make your milk toast, then maybe this isn't for you.
Yeah, maybe you're not moral enough.
If Irk of Blurred can make it off this recipe, you can.
You need to go to confession and confess your sins, and then God will give you a revelation of how much milk to use for your milk toast that you separate into 3 bowls and then take into your prayer closet.
Lilith, we talked about starting up the new show, and I think that still needs to happen. We've got some other things going on. We'll get to that eventually. I think we need a social media account for Irk of Blurred and to develop this character.
I want to see the results, our final the result of our hard work and our morality.
I absolutely need to see this.
There it is. And here's the thing about this is, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, it's all this probably is delicious, and essentially what this is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Like, It's probably actually really good.
It's cinnamon toast slosh. It's not crunchy
Yeah.
at all.
There's no crunch
essentially-
to this.
It's essentially bread pudding, which I love, but bread pudding is you make more of a custard than just milk and cinnamon.
Yeah.
Or like I said, it's uncooked French toast.
Yeah, and I think you really hit on the thing there with that idea of the uncooked French toast, Lilith, is that this has to be one of the laziest meals you could possibly make.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. It seems like I'm sorry. Everything was covered on my screen, so I didn't see the comments, but I think Urka Blurred is quite a hit here in the transfers.
I enjoyed it. So I do those. And I did, because you did, so I don't know if I should spoil the magic, but I did get that name from, I typed in goblin name generator into Google, and so I found one.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen and friends beyond the binary, that's been Culinary Delights.